That's exactly what investigators from Baldwin County are digging into right now, following the seizure of a massive amount of money along Interstate 65. The federal task force uncovered the cash during a search of a pickup truck traveling through Baldwin County on I-65. Breaking news. Breaking news. Breaking news. What federal agents just discovered inside Floyd Mayweather's home is truly shocking. Investigators in Baldwin County are now working tirelessly after the discovery. And in a shocking turn of events, federal authorities have revealed they found something completely unexpected at Mayweather's residence. What do you think about this incident? If you're shocked, leave a comment below. And if you're not surprised, feel free to share your thoughts as well. Enjoy the video, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button to support the channel. They're tracking Floyd Mayweather's assets now. Do you remember his brother? The one who used to walk around with a $100 million check in his pocket, claiming he didn't even need to cash it? Well, guess what? They're following him now, too. Floyd Mayweather might have lost it all. And no, this isn't just another clickbait headline. From private jets and a billion-dollar lifestyle, to swirling rumors of fraud, lawsuits, and a $42 million financial collapse, Money Man might actually be out of money. Is this the downfall of the most controversial empire in boxing, or the greatest scam in the history of sports? Let's break it all down. Floyd Mayweather is money. He was just a kid from New Brunswick, New Jersey, crammed into a one-bedroom apartment with 6 family members. No heat, no lights, and definitely no silver spoons. His mother battled addiction. His father, a former boxer, was in and out of prison constantly. Floyd didn't just grow up around boxing. He was born into it. He was born into it, shaped by survival. His earliest memories weren't about titles or flashing cameras, but about darkness and cold. Still, even in such brutal conditions, Floyd never cried, never complained. He trained. By the time he stepped onto the Olympic stage in 1996 and earned a bronze medal, Floyd already had the work ethic of a true champion. In the early years of his professional career, he was known as Pretty Boy Floyd, fast, fluid, technically brilliant, and nearly untouchable in the ring. But behind the scenes, he was battling more than just his opponents. Despite his dominance, Floyd wasn't earning what he believed he deserved. According to top promotions, he was making only a few $1,000,000 per fight, while his bouts were raking in tens of millions in revenue. That's when everything changed. In 2006, Mayweather made the boldest move of his entire career. He bought out his contract with Top Rank for $750,000, betting on himself in a way that few fighters in history ever dared to do. It was a risky decision. Breaking free from the protection of a powerful promoter meant he had to build something entirely new, something that belonged to him alone, from the ground up. Floyd didn't just want to be a fighter anymore. He wanted to be a mogul, and that marked the birth of Money Mayweather. With his own company, Mayweather Promotions, he took full control of his fights, his image, and most importantly, his revenue. From there, his fortune exploded. In just a few short years, he was earning over $100 million per fight, becoming the highest-paid athlete in the world, and rewriting the entire playbook on how boxers could build wealth. But as the money started pouring in, so did the problems. Floyd didn't just rebrand himself. He reshaped the entire boxing business. The charming, humble, soft-spoken young man was gone. In his place stood Money Mayweather, the man with private jets, fleets of Bugattis, and a $1 million watch collection. All of it was captured on camera and flaunted across social media. He wore arrogance like armor, walking into press conferences in designer suits, tossing cash into crowds, and mocking opponents with cold, surgical precision. And the craziest part? It worked. Floyd became the most hated man in sports, and that was exactly what he wanted. He understood something that most athletes never do. People don't need to love you to pay to watch you. In fact, it's even better if they don't. The world paid to watch Floyd Mayweather lose. And when he didn't lose, they kept paying again and again. In marketing terms, he became the perfect villain, the kind you simply couldn't ignore. While others chased championship belts, Floyd chased attention. He fought with intelligence, handpicked his opponents, mastered the psychological war, and left every match with both a win and a fat paycheck. His record remains flawless, 50 wins, 0 losses. But outside the ring, admiration became far more complicated. Fans praised his defensive genius, but condemned his showmanship. Commentators hailed him as the most strategic fighter in history, yet questioned his oversized ego. His self-promotion was unmatched, but so was the backlash. Mayweather wasn't just a boxer. He was a brand, a lifestyle, a walking contradiction. He didn't care whether you respected him, as long as you listened, and they listened. With immense wealth, Floyd's excess became even greater. His spending wasn't just extravagant, it was legendary. From strolling into Gucci with $1 million in a canvas bag, to shutting down entire shopping malls for a $15 million private shopping spree. Mayweather lived like a man untouched by consequence. His Instagram became a shrine to extravagance, displaying luxury car fleets, diamond-encrusted watches worth more than most homes, and stacks of cash spread across hotel beds like confetti. He once revealed that his most expensive watch was valued at $18 million. But while Floyd was busy counting millions, his relationships began to quietly fall apart. The first cracks appeared within his own family. Floyd's father, his very first trainer, publicly admitted that their relationship had soured as Floyd's fame and spending grew. They were once close, but as Floyd's obsession with money deepened, the distance between them widened. "We never fought," his father said, "until the money came." If this story moved you or made you reflect on what truly matters in life, leave a like, share it with someone who might need it, and don't forget to subscribe for more meaningful content. Then it wasn't about training anymore. It became about pride, about control, about who truly deserved the credit. And then came the fallout with 50 Cent, one of Floyd's closest friends and business partners. Their tight-knit friendship had long been a topic in hip-hop headlines, until it came crashing down. Later, 50 Cent revealed that Floyd had become consumed by money, that loyalty and friendship no longer held any value for him. Their partnership deteriorated over financial disputes, with 50 Cent claiming that Floyd refused to return investments and began treating people like they were disposable objects. And perhaps the most painful split of all was with Gervonta "Tank" Davis, Floyd's prized protege. Tank accused Floyd of deliberately making him dependent, feeding him scraps just to maintain control. Despite the fame and lucrative fight purses, Tank said he felt used, not as a partner, but as a pawn. "They put you in a position where you always need them," Tank said. To the world, it looked like they were helping, but it was manipulation. These weren't isolated incidents. They were signs of a deeper pattern. As Floyd's wealth soared, trust crumbled, and those who once stood by his side began to quietly walk away. His wealth was real, but so was the cost of maintaining it. And with every mansion he built and every bridge he burned, a larger question began to grow. Is this the price of greatness or simply greed? As Floyd's bank account ballooned, so did his ego. And not everyone was cheering anymore. Mayweather's skills were never in doubt, but his arrogance became the main conversation, especially when he publicly dismissed boxing legends like Muhammad Ali. In a notorious interview, Floyd boldly declared, "Among all the boxers in the history of boxing, I've accomplished more than any other boxer in history." He pointed to Muhammad Ali's losses, including his defeat to Leon Spinks, who had only 7 professional fights at the time. And Floyd didn't stop there. He went even further, claiming that Ken Norton had beaten Ali in all 3 of their encounters. A view that many historians and analysts did not support. The backlash came swiftly. Stephen A. Smith, one of the most influential voices at ESPN, called Floyd's comments blasphemous, reminding audiences that legacy isn't just about numbers, but about what you stand for. Ali fought not only in the ring, but far beyond it, for civil rights, for dignity, for something greater than himself. Smith argued that Mayweather stood for nothing but money. Mike Tyson also spoke out, calling Floyd out and warning that in the end, every fighter has to face reality. Tyson, who walked the same path of fame, luxury, and isolation, believes that Floyd's disconnection from humility not only damages his relationships, but also eats away at his soul, and the public seems to agree. People don't watch Mayweather's fights out of admiration. They watch with the hope of seeing him lose. In fact, to many fans, it has become a spectator sport, cheering not for a victor, but for a fall. His talent in the ring is undeniable, but outside of it, he has become a symbol of unchecked ego. He has become the villain, and not just by choice. This story becomes even more shocking when it comes to Tank Davis, once Floyd's most loyal protege. Tank didn't just separate professionally, he walked away emotionally too, accusing Floyd of manipulating him into dependence. Davis described a quiet but constant strategy of control, giving just enough to keep someone loyal, but never enough to let them be truly free. His words weren't filled with rage. They were steeped in pain, almost like a warning meant for others. The richer Floyd became, the deeper the cracks in his world grew. His relationships began to bend under the weight of his own success, and the world started asking, at what point does legacy become collateral damage? After retiring undefeated in 2017, Floyd Mayweather could have stepped away from boxing as a legend. But instead, Floyd entered a new chapter, one that many believe is tarnishing his legacy, the era of exhibition matches. It started with a bang, a lucrative performance against Japanese kickboxing sensation Tenshin Nasukawa, followed by a highly publicized bout with YouTube star Logan Paul. While these fights made money, many in the boxing world viewed them as nothing more than a circus. Leave your thoughts in the comments below. What do you think about these exhibition matches? Are they reshaping the sport of boxing, or are they just empty spectacle? Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to stay tuned for our next videos. Because the truth is, these fights lacked competitiveness, had no official stakes, and felt more like business ventures than true sporting events. Chael Sonnen, a former MMA star and outspoken commentator, didn't hold back. Floyd is still fighting because he needs money, he stated bluntly. Sonnen argued that Floyd had never made the kind of money the headlines claimed, and that his post-retirement exhibition matches weren't fueled by passion, but by necessity. Eddie Hearn, one of the most respected promoters in boxing, also took aim. He called Mayweather's events meaningless, saying they had become irrelevant to serious fans, and no longer had the power to pull in the same pay-per-view numbers as before. When Mayweather fought at London's O2 Arena in early 2023, Hearn flatly said, "I don't know anyone who knows the fight is happening." Then came the controversies over fighter pay. Logan Paul publicly accused Mayweather of not paying him the full amount after their fight, a claim that further fueled concerns about Floyd's financial transparency. Deji, another influencer who stepped into the ring with Floyd, also hinted that the financial dealings weren't as smooth or professional as fans would expect from a former world champion. These weren't isolated accusations. They pointed to something deeper. Critics began to ask, "Floyd, you say you've made $1 billion, but have you actually paid your people?" The more stories like these surfaced, the more fans began to wonder if Mayweather's obsession with money had shifted from a bold business strategy into something far more desperate. What started as a power move, building his own empire, now looked more and more like damage control. Behind the glimmer of private jets and championship belts, troubling signs began to emerge. In 2023, Business Insider released a report that took a hard look at Floyd's claims of real estate dominance. While Mayweather had publicly stated that he owned over 60 properties, the investigation revealed that many of those properties were co-owned or financed through complicated deals, and that Floyd's actual ownership stake was significantly lower than advertised. An investigation questioned whether Floyd exaggerated his wealth to protect his brand. Then came the $42 million crypto fraud scandal, drawing the attention of the SEC. Floyd denied wrongdoing, but the damage was done. Fans began to wonder, is the empire hollow? A strange rumor followed. Floyd was reportedly stuck in Dubai over unpaid debts. But a viral TikTok showed him courtside at a Clippers game in Los Angeles. The internet exploded. Was it a hoax? A cover-up? No one knows for sure. But stories like this would have been unthinkable at the height of his fame. Then came a bombshell from Chael Sonnen. He claimed Floyd may have only made around $100 million in total net profit throughout his entire career. A shocking contrast to the billion-dollar image Floyd built. But with a lifestyle burning millions every month, it might just be true. On the lawyer's side, the entourage, salaries, and endless expenses never stop piling up. Suddenly, the empire that once felt invincible begins to show cracks. Floyd Mayweather may have built the wealthiest brand in boxing history, but did he also build a house of cards? There was a time when his fights were cultural events, blockbuster nights that brought together celebrities, die-hard sports fans, and casual viewers under one shared hope: to watch Floyd win, or better yet, to finally see him lose. Now those golden nights feel like distant memories. In recent years, Mayweather has fully transitioned into exhibition matches, unofficial, unregulated bouts that blur the line between sport and show. But where fans once paid sky-high prices just to see him step into the ring, the buzz has quietly faded. If this story gave you something to reflect on about glory, sacrifice, and what truly matters in life, then leave a like, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and don't forget to subscribe for more powerful stories from the world of boxing. His 2023 exhibition match with British reality TV star Aaron Chalmers at the iconic O2 Arena in London was a stark contrast to the sold-out spectacles of the past. The crowd was so thin that entire sections of the arena remained empty, despite a heavily funded promotional campaign. Even respected voices in the industry like Eddie Hearn admitted they didn't know a single person who was aware the fight was even happening. Pay-per-view sales were only a fraction of what they used to be. The contrast was glaring. The man who once headlined record-breaking mega events is now struggling to fill a venue. Worse yet, questions about Floyd's true financial health have begun circulating like never before. How could a man who claims to have earned over $1 billion still be fighting unknown opponents for relatively small payouts? Prominent voices in the combat sports world have started sounding the alarm. Chael Sonnen has repeatedly cast doubt on Floyd Mayweather's true earnings, suggesting that much of the billionaire narrative is inflated, more rooted in branding than in actual financial reality. According to Sonnen, Floyd's real take-home income, after taxes, team salaries, luxury costs, and lifestyle upkeep, might be closer to just $100 million. When you consider that Floyd is said to spend nearly $1 million a month simply to maintain his car collection, private jets, and full-time staff, the math begins to make sense, and not in a good way. Then came the scandal out of Dubai, with rumors swirling that Mayweather was being held over unpaid debts. That rumor was quickly debunked after a TikTok user caught him courtside at an NBA game. But the fact that so many people believed it says more than words ever could. The public's trust in Mayweather's finances has been deeply shaken, especially among his own fans. The man who spent years building an image of limitless wealth suddenly looked vulnerable. And then that question echoed across comment sections, forums, and fan circles. He sold the dream of wealth. But was it all just a facade? When you strip away the glamour, the Gucci, and the glitz of luxury watches, what is Floyd Mayweather's legacy? In the ring, Floyd Mayweather is untouchable. 50 wins, 0 losses. He defeated elite opponents across weight classes, making world champions look like novices. His defensive mastery and ring intelligence changed how people viewed boxing. But outside the ropes, things grew darker. He redefined the business of boxing, becoming a symbol of financial independence in a sport built on exploitation. Yet, as his wealth soared, his personal world began to crumble. Friendships collapsed under financial pressure. From 50 Cent's betrayal to Tank Davis, turning from loyal protege to critic. Even his once solid relationship with his father unraveled due to pride and control struggles. Business partners, fans, and fellow fighters became wary of Floyd's arrogance. And in the eyes of many in the boxing world, his relentless pursuit of money came at a steep price: respect. Floyd alienated boxing purists with his meaningless exhibitions. He angered critics with dismissive remarks about icons like Muhammad Ali. And he crafted a public image so wrapped in wealth and status that even a bounced check or an empty arena felt like poetic justice to those who once cheered him on. Still, calling Floyd a failure would be unfair. He redefined success on his own terms, made more money than any fighter in history, and exited the sport with his health and fortune mostly intact. A rare feat in the unforgiving world of boxing. But that might be the tragedy of his story. He won every round in the ring, but lost pieces of himself outside of it. The greatest defensive boxer ever may have built walls so high. Even love, loyalty, and legacy couldn't get through. in protecting himself from betrayal and greed. He may have locked out the very people who mattered. Friends turned critics, families strained, respect slowly fading. So here's the final question. Floyd Mayweather won every fight in the ring. But did he lose the battle of life? What do you think? Leave a comment below. If this story moved you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. More powerful stories from the world of boxing await you here. See you in the next round.